Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Waking Up to Your True Potential. My name is Laura Winenkowski, and I'm an international life and relationship coach. And I coach in English, Spanish, Finnish, and Italian. I'm so excited for all of you to be here again. Bright lights. I have another amazing interview. My guest today is Marie Nugent. And Marie is a life experience mentor, and she's the creator of Time to Sparkle and Shine. And she mentors and supports women who are going through life challenges, particularly focusing on those who are going through separation and divorce. And she's based in Ireland, and she's also a nurse and a midwife. So you're very welcome, Marie. It's really nice to see you today.
Thank you, Laura, and thanks for inviting me on the show. It's my pleasure to be here. Believe me.
Well, it's really nice. It's really nice to have you here today, Marie. We've known each other for a long time. We were part of the same coaching mastermind. So yeah, we go way back.
Way back, yeah.
We go way back, and both of us, have achieved many things in the last few years. So it's always nice to witness someone's journey and to witness everything that someone is doing, So it's fascinating. It's fascinating what you do. It's great that you help empower women. And I wanted to ask you, why did you choose to focus on helping women that are going through separation and divorce?
Great question. I suppose I've always been a natural carer. So as a nurse and as midwife, and I ended up specializing in neonatal intensive care. So I've always been there for the challenging times in women's lives. And when I gave up nursing, and traveled the world and came back and went through my own separation and divorce. I knew what a painful process it was for me. I said, I did the hard work, so you won't have to. And I knew that this was something that I had to go through myself. So basically the highs and the lows, where you felt empowered, and all the while, when you felt disempowered. And when you struggled and when you felt great, so I rode those waves for over many years. And when I was finished with it, because I had done a lot of self-empowerment work on myself, and I knew what worked and what didn't work, but also an awful lot of wisdom and understanding about the whole process along the way. And that really, I felt, and I'm feeling it more and more, that it's less about the separation and divorce and more about an awakening for women, and very much about harnessing the energies that are going around at the moment. So it's using the situation for self-empowerment rather than seeing it as separation and divorce. And maybe this will be a controversial thing, but your partner is actually going to be your best teacher in what it is in the life you want to create, because they're going to teach you about what it is that you don't want, and then allow you to focus in basically on what it is that you want to create.
Definitely. I mean, now we're living in such incredible changing times right now, and I think that it's great that you help empower women, but then I also feel that we're living in a time where it's all about balancing the masculine and the feminine energies, right? So I know that you also work around that, right?
Yeah, very much so. This is never working with me is never going to be about bashing your partner / husband, right. But it is totally about, okay, they may do something, you may react to it, and we will be looking at you and you're reacting and why it is that you're reacting to these situations. And in doing that, every time you look at something that that you're reacting to, and dealing with it, you're actually empowering yourself so that it no longer has the power to trigger you or to hurt you. And that's why, that whole thing, in recognizing your power, then you can, I see a bit like Velcro that's coming apart. So it's like you were stuck together and then you're coming apart and you're actually two different people. And it's a lot of it is finding out who you are that's separate from, from your male counterpart, but also recognizing that he's finding his way in the only way that he knows how. But you are lucky because you have the mentor and support that's giving you the insight and understanding. So you're not disappearing into the drama, you're rising above it, and you then become really, really the empowered person within what's happening within, the dynamics, that's what's happening within the separation and divorce.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think, yeah, those are really good points, and I think also, I think that sometimes there's a misconception when people hear about the rise of the divine, feminine energies and all of that, because some people think like, oh, so the feminine energies are going to be stronger than the masculine energies,
Yeah.
but it's not about that. It's about finding the balance between those two energies, right?
True.
Outside and also within ourselves, right?
Yeah, and I think because, I mean, it is historical fact that, the divine feminine has been buried for thousands of years. So
Yeah.
in a lot of what we're doing is we're embracing who we are as women. We're
Yeah.
letting our light shine, and when we do that, then we're impacting the world. But also we're defining, because our roles now aren't subservient; they're of equal
Yeah.
balance, and
Yeah.
and then it's about what is it like to work and to live where you are respected for your intuition, for your understanding, for your connection, for the power that you possess, the guidance that you're getting. That if you respect it as that person, you also can respect, the masculine energy for the power that they are, the protective, the supportive, the yes, the warrior part of it as well, but not in dominance over somebody else. And
Right.
it's not submissive to somebody else, but it's equal of. They are both powerful in their own right, and each respecting the other. I mean, isn't that the beauty of the world on which we want to create of masculine and feminine in balance?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think balance is the key, right? Like
Yeah,
balance is the key
totally.
in
Yeah,
all relationships. Balance is the key within yourself. You
yeah,
need to have that inner balance,
yeah,
and then to have balance in relationships, in all ways, and especially with the feminine and the masculine energies, finding that balance,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Totally. And yeah, and for me, I find I work with mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
So, they focus an awful lot on the mental energy and mental health. And they talk an awful lot about the body and what it is that you can do to work with it. But they leave out the spirit, which is the one, the guiding, which is what guides us, what tells us that when we're coming out of a situation that no longer serves us, that there's a reason why this is happening, that, and it's about learning to listen to that, that this is sort of like the missing link that people haven't, and they see spirituality as something like that's woo woo, but it's not. It's in each and every single one of us. We're all born with it, but
Yeah.
we tune it out, and this is about learning to tune it back in again. So it is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's very that's very well put, and and in line with finding that balance between the masculine and the feminine energies.
Yeah,
Right now, we're also living in a time where we have to think about, what kind of new earth do we want to create?
very
What
much
kind of
so.
world do we want to live in,
Yeah.
right?
And we want to live in it now because we're the ones that are,
Yeah,
we're the ones that are here and now.
it's up to us, right? It's up to
Yeah,
us.
it is totally up to us. And it really doesn't matter what age you are.
Yeah.
That you can create the world that you want to live in at any age.
Yeah.
And you can have the people attract into the more you trust, the more synchronistic episodes that are going to happen into your life, the more people are going to come in to support you, the more magic. There's a whole magical world that we don't
Yeah.
connect with. And learning to become who you are, you learn to see the in the world. My biggest challenge was because, it's the left brain, right brain. So the logical part of me had been working on it for many, many years. And so when I started doing, say, the NLP, it was very spiritually based. So I could actually feel the neural pathways on the creative side of my brain actually firing in
Wow.
ways that they had never fired before.
Yeah.
But when, because we have the logical part, then it'll be saying, but sure, it's all your imagination. But
Yeah.
the reality is it's our imagination we need to be letting loose and supported then by the logical brain saying, yes, go, this is, go for it, as opposed to, keep
Yeah.
your head down and don't be seen or heard. It's
Yeah.
about stand up, be seen, be heard, be acknowledged, be respected, and sparkle and shine.
I love it. Yeah, sparkle and shine. I definitely can relate to that. Sparkle and shine. I like all the sparkly,
Yeah.
sparkly,
Yeah.
shiny things. And it's not only about wearing the sparkly and shiny things.
No.
It's like feeling like you sparkle and shine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
much so. And we carry such weight and such memories in our bodies, so that if we can allow it to feel that, to feel that way, that joy of life, that, the respect of who we are, of what fun it is to be you, the
Yeah.
magic of you, and acknowledge it. Can you imagine how different our lives will work, rather than constantly doubting and second guessing ourselves and judging
Yeah.
ourselves? Oh my
Yeah.
God,
The judgment. Yeah. The
the
judgment is so
judgment
bad.
card.
Yeah.
Oh,
Judgment,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that's one thing, that's one thing that I always tell my clients, and something that I live by. Like I always tell people, like, find the joy in those little things. Like, you need to find the joy in life,
yeah, yeah,
in those little silly
yeah,
things, right? Because the more joy you find, the
yeah.
happier and more joyful you're gonna feel.
Absolutely. And your day is full of little things,
Exactly.
So there's more little things than there are. Okay, there are big things that are happening, but if you can imagine filling your
Yeah.
day with little things that bring you joy,
Yeah.
smile, a cup of coffee, that really nice, meeting a friend, or somebody complimenting you, or you complimenting somebody else, all
Yeah.
little things that, that you can spread very, very easily.
Yeah, all of that adds up. And then, and another thing that I talk about as well is that the better you feel in general, right? The
Yeah,
happier you feel, the better you feel, the higher your frequency of your vibration will be,
yeah,
and the more you're going to be able to manifest good things into your life, right?
yeah,
Like, that's the key to
totally. And
manifestation, right?
yeah, absolutely. And it's a bit like a radio station, you tune in, where you're hearing about all the things that are wrong, and fear, whatever, and then you're turning it up,
Yeah.
and then you're connecting with people that are empowering you, that you're not coming away drained, and then you're turning it up again, and suddenly you're the creator of your own life, where you have this, you're giving out this. I see, maybe, what we do as lighthouses. You're sending out these beams of light that just go,
Yeah.
God, isn't it a great world we're living in? Okay, there's challenges, but you know
Yeah.
what? It's your life. You create it. And sending just this constant beam sending out. And how can it
Yeah.
not be seen, and how can
Yeah.
it not make a difference in people's worlds?
Yeah, I love the lighthouse analogy, because I use it a lot, and
Do
I think
you?
about it a lot.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
There
remember
you
I
go.
remember
And
one.
we wouldn't even have spoken about it.
I know. I
Yeah,
know. Yeah. So yeah, we're aligned.
you're aligned. Yeah.
We're aligned that way, because I remember one night, like, I mean, this was a long time ago, but I remember one night that I was out, and I was wearing like a sparkly top, like with the sparkles, and then, like, I was dancing in a place, and
Yeah.
I felt like a lighthouse. I mean, people were just drawn to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but it was a combination. It was a combination of, like, what I was wearing, how I was feeling, how I looked,
Yeah.
like, it was all of it. But
Yeah.
I remember feeling like such a lighthouse on that night.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
like, even if
And
there was no way I could hide that night.
I know, and those, it's great, but also, you know, when I use the term sparkle and shine, it doesn't mean that you're aiming to go on stage.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it doesn't mean that you're going to talk in front of thousands. If that's the way you feel drawn or you're pushed to go, great. But this is just sparkling, starting at sparkling and shining in your own light, you know, in your
Yes.
own life and the life you're living now. And then it's a step, and then it's following the clues. You
Yeah,
know, it's
exactly. And
literally
then,
just
yeah.
following the clues, and from there, and where it is that spirit is taking you, where it is you're being guided to go, and how much fun you can have along the way.
Exactly. Like it's so important to have fun. Like I'm a big believer in fun. Like you have to have fun and you have to enjoy life.
Yeah,
And I always tell people like give yourself permission to enjoy life and have fun.
yes,
Especially somebody that's gone through like a very difficult like
yeah,
moment in life.
yeah.
Like sometimes it's hard to get like that joy back, right?
Yeah,
Like
no,
yeah.
totally. Because you know there are circumstances and there are things that in life that come and they poleaxe us.
Yeah,
They literally, you know, they stop us in our tracks.
exactly.
And you know it's easy to say, well, that's awakening, but the reality is you have to process it first.
Yeah,
You know, you have to come together. You know, mind, body, and spirit. You know,
exactly.
and it takes for levels before you feel the urge to the shoots, you know, the seeds are sown to allow the shoots to come up so that you know you can then start nurturing them and growing them. But you know that saying, it's always darkest before the dawn, and it is to a certain extent. But you
Yeah.
know, yeah, it's just part of life, you know, and the challenges that we meet along the way that are not meant to make us small or turn us into victim, but they're very much meant to, well, okay, this has come up. What is this going to, how is this going to empower you?
Yeah.
How is this going to, you know, to make you into the person that you are meant to be and you are meant to become? And then in doing that and empowering you, you pass that wisdom on to others then, you know, and show them how to do it, but how to do it in our way, not, you know, not with drama or with aggravation or assault or any of these things. That's not the way. The empowered way is very much seeing the bigger picture. And sometimes it's about being adult, you know, the adult in the
Be an
relationship. So
adult.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's so true. It's about rising above, right? It's
Yeah.
about, you know, of course, you know, learning from the challenges and all of that, but it's about rising above and then about making conscious choices, right?
Yeah. And
Because the
each
thing
one
is
you
that,
do.
you know, you can be a person that has gone through extremely challenging situations. Like in my case, like I've gone through a lot. Like
Yeah.
I've had a lot, like I've had major challenges. But then I choose to find joy and happiness and feel happiness, right? Because people always ask me like how, you know, how can you always be so happy? Like has nothing happened to you? I'm like, actually a lot, a lot has happened
Yeah.
to me.
And it's because it does that you actually feel the joy. You know,
Yeah.
in to a certain extent, you don't see yourself as the victim. You
No.
see yourself that this is just something that, you know, this is not personal. You know, it's just something it's not personal. This is just
Yeah.
something that I have to get through.
Yeah.
And I think if you see, you know, that you're not being persecuted or whatever, you know, you don't have that feeling, then you know you're coming from a more empowered space. You just see it, well, this is just something that I have to get through,
Yeah.
and that I can, you know, that I can learn this and this from it. And each piece it feeds the flame that is you.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, no, definitely. Yeah, feeding the flame that is you. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it. And I think that now in this age that we're living in this, you know, the shift of consciousness of humanity that we're going through right now, I think that the empowerment piece is really important to remind
Yeah,
people how powerful they are because
yeah.
most people don't realize how powerful they are.
No, and there's nothing like fear controlling somebody to make them feel disempowered.
Exactly, exactly. So I think it's really important to remind people
Yeah,
how
very much so.
how
How
powerful they
powerful
are.
they are. very much
Yeah,
so. We
definitely.
would be on
And
the wavelength of that. Yeah,
with that power, you can change, you can
yeah,
change your life.
yeah,
You can change your
very much so.
circumstances,
Yeah.
and and together we can change the world, right?
Totally. And, I do believe that women, when the more that they develop their own sense of self and their own self power and the ability, the resilience to bounce back in life, there's a gravitational pull. There's definitely something that will draw them together so that the enlightened woman supports each other. They don't see women
Yes,
as a threat, but they do
exactly.
see them very much as this is a kindred spirit, and we're here to make the world a better place. And in doing that, then we're not only changing our lives, but it's your family, your village, your town, your city, and then
Yeah,
your country, and then it just expands out from there. And not to underestimate the energy that we generate when we're doing that.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, that's very important. That's very important.
Yeah.
The whole empowerment. The whole yeah, the whole empowerment.
What can you say?
Yeah, exactly, empowerment.
Empowerment says it all.
Exactly, power to the people.
So
Like, yeah,
that's I think that's actually been forgotten, but but what happened had people reeling, but they will rediscover their own sense of power again, so they will.
yeah, yeah. I think so. I think so. I think so too. Definitely. I mean, we're definitely going through a time of change and
Yeah,
awakening right now
yeah, very
on
much
every
so.
level, every level.
Yeah, and even just looking at, and occasionally I'll look in on the whole planetary thing, and when they're looking at and they say, when this happened, in the 1700s, like
Oh
at
yeah,
the same conjunction, women were being burnt as witches.
yes,
This happened in this era, such and such
yeah,
has happened. So it's like there's a cosmic law
yeah,
that's just that is that we are riding the wave of,
yes,
that is allowing us to be empowered, and very much what you were saying earlier, Laura, about that paradigm shift of what it is, the world that we want to create, because
yeah,
we have never lived in times like these. So
exactly.
we've no template to go with. So you
Yeah,
have to go with your self-empowerment, and you have to go with rising above, and you have to go with raising your vibe, because that's the time that we're living in. It's about vision. It's
yes,
about, what is it? Using your imagination to create the best world for everybody,
yeah.
but it starts with you.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, and like the astrological things that you mentioned, like I know a lot about astrology, and I
Do
give talks
you?
about astrology all the time. And I'm not an astrologer, but I know a lot about astrology, and I'm
Yeah.
very tuned in to what's happening, astrologically. So yeah, so there's many placements. For example, like just to give you one placement right now, like astrologically, like the same astrological placement is in now as there was during the American Revolution.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
there's a
it's not
lot of big
surprising.
changes that are going to happen in the
Yeah.
states right
Yeah, and and I made that statement earlier on. It's like the shake up to wake up sort of
now.
thing,
Yeah,
and that's very much what's happening at the moment. And there's just going to be different levels of
yeah,
people and awareness and what it is that they're actually waking up to. But this is only the start of the process. So
oh
it
yeah,
is. I mean, we have the age of Aquarius. We're only just into it. We
yeah.
have
We're just starting.
we're just started,
Yeah,
you're not going to be here for the full the, the change going to happen after we're gone.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely interesting times. It's definitely
Very much
interesting
so,
times.
and embrace that.
Yeah,
There are never going to be times like these again.
exactly.
Thank God, says me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny because I've known about this time for a long time, but I didn't
Yeah,
know what form it was going to take.
Yeah,
You know?
I know, I know. And then there's perception, and there's the reality of what it is actually like to go through. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's so true. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you've shared, Marie. And do you have any courses and workshops that are coming up?
Yeah, yeah. I actually have it starting on the 1st of November, which is an auspicious day for me because, in fact, that was the day that was finalized. When I put it, I was sort of saying, oh, I know that date from somewhere, but I'm starting a 6-week course. And it's separation to divorce, rise and shine in challenging times. And it'll be over 6 weeks. And I'll go through different, tools and techniques that I used. It's totally about self-empowerment. But I also think, what keeps coming to mind to me is that Christmas will be, it'll be finishing sort of like the second week in December, and Christmas is coming up. Can you imagine if you can create a Christmas that you want, the Christmas that you actually want, as opposed to maybe dreading it? And setting up the energy to allow that to happen. And I'm hoping that during the 6 weeks, as well as the self-empowerment that you're going to get from it, it'll help you to create the Christmas that it is that you want. And if people want to know more about it, it's going to be up on Eventbrite later on this week.
Yeah.
If you can get in contact with me through Instagram, Marie.time to sparkle and shine, Facebook, Marie Nugent, or Time to Sparkle and Shine, or my website, www.timetosparkleandshine.ie. See, there's a theme
So
going through.
all you need to remember is time to
Time to
sparkle
sparkle
and
and
shine.
shine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thanks a million, Laura. It was an absolute pleasure and great to connect with you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marie. Thank you so much for being on the series today and for sharing all your knowledge and wisdom of
Yeah.
about empowerment in all ways.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope you liked the interview and got inspired to get more empowered in your own life in all ways. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And you can email me at lauracoaching@gmail.com. And my website is laurarenenkowski.com. So for now, bright lights, stay well, be happy, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.